So in this lecture or in this video, we are going to discuss about the semiconductor devices. That is in first year, second semester. So in this first year, second semester in semiconductor devices, we are going to discuss about the second unit, that is transistor characteristics. In our second unit, related to the transistor characteristics. So in this transistor characteristics, what we are learn. So what is transistor and how many types in transistor, so how to work and where we are using these transistors and what and their characteristics. Okay, so how to connect and how many types in transistor and what is meaning by transistor. So all these are discussed in this second chapter. So we'll go for the introduction. So in this introduction, that means, so in our daily life, that means most of the electronic system, okay, most of the electronic systems using the semiconductor devices. So in these semiconductor devices, the example for these semiconductor devices are, so in our chapter, BJTs. Okay, so the BJT means bipolar junction transistor. So it can be used, how they are using BJT. BJT used as amplifier and logic switches. So these BJT consist of three terminals. Those three terminals are collector, base and emitter. So collector is denoted with C, base is denoted with B and emitter is denoted with E. These are the three terminals in BJT transistor or BJT. So these BJT having the two types, those are PNP and NPN transistor. Okay, so BJT having the three terminals, collector, base and emitter, and two types of BJTs, those are NPN and PNP transistor. Okay, so now go for the construction of these transistor. So we know that there is a two types of transistor, that is NPN and PNP transistor. How they are constructed? How they are constructed? NPN transistor. So the name itself NPN. So which are having the two ends. Two ends means there is a two N type of semiconductor material and one P type of player or P type material. So that transistor will be called as NPN transistor. In the same way, PNP transistor, which is having the two P types of semiconductor layers along with one N type layer, which forms a transistor. The transistor will be called as PNP transistor. Okay, so we call it as transistor as a BJT. BJT means bipolar junction transistor. That means in that B means bipolar. So this bipolar reflects the fact that this bipolar means, so there is a holes and electrons participated in the injection process into the oppositely polarized material. Okay, so bipolar means there is a two polarities. These polarities will be getting through holes and electrons. That means, so these holes having the positive charge, electrons having the negative charge, they are participated in the injection process into the oppositely polarized material. So in case of, suppose assume in case of PN junction diode, there is a one junction with two biases. One junction with two biases. Those two different biases are forward bias and reverse bias. Okay, so now here transistor, bipolar junction transistor, which having the two junctions. Two junctions means, so a two PN junction device has four types of bias. We have the a two PN junction diodes has four types of biases. Okay, so how to form NPN transistor and PNP transistor. So what is the meaning of bipolar? Bipolar means holes and electrons participated in the injection process. Now go for the position of the terminals and symbol of a BJT. Okay, so where we are positioned these P type layers and N type layers. Okay, so look into the structure. Here there is a P type and N type transistors. That means P type transistor means PNP transistor. So here there is a two P type semiconductor layers and one N type layer. So the same layers will be the same layer, that is P type layer. So brought with a two terminal, that is collector and emitter. collector and emitter. So the N layer from this N layer brought the terminal that is equal to the base. So that is equal to PNP transistor. In case of NPN transistor, okay, so the collector and emitter is brought from the N-type layers and P is brought from the P terminal. From this P layer we brought the terminal that is equal to base. Okay, so this is the formation. So the symbol for the NPN and PNP transistor. So only the difference between the symbols of NPN PNP transistor is so the arrow mark direction at the emitter terminal. Arrow mark direction at the emitter terminal. So the arrow mark direction in case of PNP transistor is from E to B, that is into the base. In case of NPN transistor, the arrow mark direction is from base to emitter. So next base, here the base is located at the middle, that means in between same type of materials, and the thickness of this base is very thin when comparing to the collector and emitter thickness. And the emitter and collector terminals are made up of the same type of semiconductor material, while the base of other type of material. Okay, so here emitter and collector will be made up of the same type of material. That means in case of PNP transistor, collector and emitter will be made up of the P type. In case of NPN transistor, collector and emitter will be made up of N type material. In between, so other type of material that will be equal to our base. Okay, so these are the three terminals where we are positioned. So those three terminals is equal base, emitter and collector. Here collector and emitter will be brought for the same conducting material or same semiconductor material. So N is from the other material. Okay. Next go for the transistor currents. So the arrow mark is always drawn on the emitter. So where we are placing the arrow mark. So this arrow mark is always drawn on the emitter. So the importance of these arrow mark here is, so the arrow mark always point toward the N type. That means which shows the direction of flow of current. So the arrow mark indicates the direction of flow of current from the transistors. So that means this arrow always point towards the N type. So that means the arrow indicates the direction of the emitter current. Now look into the PNP and NPN transistor. In case of PNP transistor, the emitter, the current direction is from emitter to base. The current is flowing from emitter to base, that is into the transistor. In case of NPN transistor, the arrow mark direction is shows from the base to the emitter. Then the current direction is out from the transistor. Here, due to the three terminals, we have the three currents, that is IC equal to the collector current, IB equal to the base current, and I is equal to the emitter current, because so the transistor having the three terminals. So from these three terminals we have formed the two junctions. So that's why there is a three types of currents. Those currents are, so for collector related the collector current, and base related the current is equal to IB, and emitter current that is equal to IE. These are the transistor currents. Here in these transistor currents we can only consider the direction, so the arrow mark direction. So the arrow mark direction is either inward direction or outward direction. So the arrow mark is inward direction, mean that is PNP transistor. The arrow mark is outward direction from the emitter, which shows the NPN transistor. So how to get these terminals of three terminals in a transistor? That means when we are connecting PN junction, with back-to-back connection, when we are connecting two PN junction diodes back-to-back, which forms a transistor. So look into the picture, that is PNP transistor and NPN transistor. So here two junction diodes back-to-back connection, which forms a PN transistor. So we are back-to-back connection of N-type material or N-type semiconductors, which form the PNP transistor. In case of NPN transistor, the back-to-back connection, that is anode to be anode. So when we are connecting anode together, which forms the NPN transistor. Is it clear? So in case of PNP transistor, so the back-to-back connections of the diodes, here we are connecting n-type layer together. So in case of NPN transistor, we are connecting anodes together. So that means this transistor can be constructed like two diodes that connected together. Two diodes when we are connecting together, which forms a transistor. Okay, it can be concluded that the work of transistor is based on the work of diode. So the working of the transistor is totally depends upon the working of a diode, because the back-to-back connections of two diodes will form a transistor. So that's why the working of a transistor is totally depends upon the working of a diode. In this transistor, next go for the transistor operation, that means the working of a transistor. So the basic operation will be described using the PNP transistor. So the operation of the PNP transistor is exactly the same if the holes played by the electrons and holes are interchanged. Okay, so the basic operations of the PNP transistor will be exactly the same if the roles played by the electron and holes are interchanged. Here one PNP of the transistor is reverse biased, whereas the other is forward biased. That means we have the transistor having the three terminals. In these three terminals, which forms the two junctions, because so those two junctions are in between base and emitter. So another one is base and collector, which forms the two junctions. In these two junctions, one junction will be connected as a forward bias, another junction will be connected as a reverse bias. Look into the pictures. Forward biased junction of a PNP transistor. So in this forward bias PN junction means here the battery. Okay. So PNP, that is equal to P type and N type. So the P-type, that means the P-type semiconductor material will be connected to the positive terminal of the battery, and negative terminal, that means N-type. So N-type means here base is connected to the negative terminal of the battery, which forms the forward junction or forward biased junction of a PNP transistor. In case of reverse biased junction, so the collector means negative terminal or n-type semiconductor material will be connected to the negative terminal of the collector having the p-type. This p-type semiconductor will be connected to the negative terminal of the battery, and base will be connected to the base having the negative charge, that means n-type material. This n-type material will be connected to the positive terminal of the battery. Okay, in case of forward bias junction of PNP transistor, so the majority carriers will be occur. Okay, so in reverse bias connection, so there is only changes will be occur in minority carriers. That means when we are connecting in forward biased condition, so there will be occur a majority carriers. In case of reverse biased junction, there is a minority carriers. So we are connecting these together, that means forward bias junction and reverse bias junction. So this formed this circuit. Okay, so that is emitter, base and collector with forward biased and reverse biased. In between there is a depletion layer. In case of forward bias junction, the depletion layer is equal to very small, but in case of reverse bias junction, the depletion layer is very large. Okay, so the current direction is from, so this battery the current supply from the emitter to the base to the remaining, which forms a closed path. So now look into this. So both biasing potential have been applied to the PNP transistor and resulting majority and minority carriers flows indicated. We are applying the biasing voltages by the biasing batteries. So there is a majority and minority carriers will be flows. So the majority carriers will be diffused from the forward biased PN junction diode into the n-type material. So these majority carriers will be occur at the emitter ending. So from this, the majority carriers is equal to holes because there is a p-type material. So these p-type material having the holes. So these holes are majority in forward bias junction, that is at the emitter end. These majority carriers will diffuse across the forward biased p-n junction into the n-type material. A very small number of carriers will through n-type material to the base terminal, resulting IB is typically in order of microamperes. That means very small number of carriers will be flows through the n-type material to the base terminal. So resulting that, so IB current will be flowing. So that means the direction of IB current here, the IB current is typically in the order of microamperes because small amount of the carriers will be combined with the electrons in base region. So that's why this recombination will takes the small amount of the current, that is IB, that is in microamperes. So next, at collector ending, the large number of majority carriers will diffuse across the reverse biased junction into the p-type material connected to the collector terminal. That means, so in this base region, only 5% of the carriers will recombine. So remaining 95% of the holes will moving from emitter regions to the collector region. Okay, that means the large number of majority carriers will diffuse across the reverse biased junction into the p-type material connected to the collector terminal. That means, so in this operation, okay, when we are applying the biasing voltages to this forward bias and reverse bias connection of PNP transistor, so the majority carriers here are equal to holes. So these holes are diffused from emitter to the collector via base. So when we are that means these holes are moving from emitter to the collector via base. So the majority carriers will diffuse it into the collector region. So the minority carriers will be recombined in the base region. So in this base region, only the small amount of the carriers will be recombined. So which constitute the current, that is equal to the IB current. So the remaining amount of the charge carriers will diffuse it into the current, so diffuse it into the collector region, that means n-type material, that is collector region with p-type material. So that will be connected to the collector terminal. So that means the majority carriers can cross the reverse biased junction because the injected majority carriers will appear as minority carriers in the n-type material. Okay, so that means the most of the majority carriers will be crosses the reverse biased junction. So that means when you are applying the KCL to the transistor, that means the KCL means Kirchhoff current law. That means entering current equal to the leaving current. The sum of entering currents will be equal to sum of leaving currents. Here the entering current, that means the current due to the emitter. That current will be equal to the IE. IE is equal to IC plus IB. Okay, the total current. Input current equal to IE. I is equal to the current from the base plus the current from the collector. So that's why IC is equal to the sum of base current plus collector current. That means that comprises of two components, the majority and minority carriers. That means IC is equal to IC in majority plus ICO in minority. Due to the majority carriers, so the collector current is equal to the IC majority. Due to the leakage current, okay, due to the some minority carriers, you can get some leakage current that will be equal to the ICO. That will be equal to the reverse leakage current. That current will be called as reverse leakage current with emitter terminal is open. When the emitter terminal is open, so there is some little amount of the current will be flowing. That little amount of the current will be called as reverse leakage current, or it is also called as leakage current. It will be denoted with ICO. So this will be due to the minority carriers. So that's why from these configurations, from this transistor PNP transistor, so the total emitter current IE is equal to the sum of collector current plus base current. But the collector current having the, so due to the majority carriers, the collector current equal to IC. Due to the minority carriers, the collector current, that is ICO, reverse leakage current. So the total collector current is equal to IC majority carriers plus ICO minority carriers. This ICO is called as reverse, because in reverse biased condition it is also called as reverse leakage current, or simply you can call it as leakage current. Now go for the, so in this transistor, okay, in this transistor we have the two types, that is PNP and NPN transistor. So again these transistor will be connected in three ways. That means we are connecting the transistor in three configurations, because we have the three terminals, that is emitter, base and collector. So based on these three terminals, so the way of connecting these three, there is a three configurations, that is common base configuration, common emitter configuration and common collector configuration. So why where it is called as common base? So for input and output purpose of the transistor, that means when you are using the transistor within a circuit, it may requiring the two terminals at the input and another two terminals at the output. But this transistor having only three terminals, so that's why there is a need to common the one terminal. There is a need to common the one terminal. So that means we have the three terminals, base, emitter and collector. So if you want to maintain the balancing of the transistor, so one of the terminal of these three will be connected as common for the input and output. That means in case of common base configuration, the base terminal is common to the both input and output. Okay, that means the common base terminology is derived from the fact that the base is common. The base is common to both input and output of the configuration. So base is usually the terminals closest to or at the ground potential. That means common base. That means, so when we are common the base terminal, okay, it will be acts for the both input side and output side. So it is also called as a ground based configuration, because it will be connected at ground potential. So that's why this common base configuration is also called as ground based configuration. Okay, now the current directions. So all current directions will refer to the conventional. Conventional means the basic current flow direction. Conventional means whole flow, and the arrows in all electronic symbols have a direction defined by this convention. Okay, in all electronic symbols we can define the current direction as a conventional direction, that is the whole flow direction, the hole's direction where the holes is moving. Based on the whole direction, we can define it as conventional current direction. That is in all electronic symbols, we can define the current by the direction of the conventional. So note that the applied biasing, that is voltage sources, are such as to establish current in the direction indicated for the each branch. That means, so for maintaining the biasing, okay, this biasing is applied by the batteries, that is voltage sources. Okay, when we are applying the biasing to the any electronic circuits, okay, which establish the current. Okay, from the voltage sources we can get the current. So this current direction indicated for the each branch. So from these electronics we can measure or we can indicate the currents in each branch by the applied voltage. That applied voltage, when we are applying external applied voltage to the circuit, then that will be called as biasing. Okay, so this biasing means the voltage will be applied to the electronic circuits, okay, which indicate the direction of current in each branch. Now, so already we know that there is the two types of transistor, that is PNP and NPN transistor. Okay, so these either we are connecting in common base. We are studied now is in common base configuration. So we are connecting PNP transistor and NPN transistor in common base configuration. Now look into these circuit diagrams PNP. So in case of PNP transistor, so the N terminal, that is N type semiconductor layer, will be called it as base. Okay, so next another end is emitter, next another end is equal to the collector. Here the N terminal will be connected to the ground. Ground means that is common for both input and output at the same time. So the emitter junction is in forward bias and collector junction is going to be connected in reverse bias. So how to get this forward bias means, so here the supply voltages for PN transistor is VEE and VCC. Okay, so when you are connecting VEE, that is battery positive terminal is connected to the, so the p-type semiconductor layer, that is emitter terminal, and base will be connected to the negative terminal of the battery, which forms the forward bias. At the output end we will maintain the reverse bias, so that's why the p-type collector region will be connected to the negative terminal of the battery, that is VCC supply, and N-type material, that is base will be connected to the positive terminal of the battery. That means when you are connecting these biasing are voltage sources, DC voltage sources, which maintains the forward bias and reverse bias. Okay, so the similar equivalent circuit replaced with the transistor symbol, that is forward biased and reverse biased. Here the current direction is from emitter to the base because that is equal to the PNP transistor. So the conventional current direction is from emitter to base. In the same manner, so we go for the NPN transistor. So in this NPN transistor, the N-type emitter will be connected to the negative terminal of the supply. That supply is VEE. Next, positive terminal of the battery will be connected to the base. That means input junction is forward biased. Now output junction. So this output junction is reverse biased. This reverse bias is formed by, so N-type collector will be connected to the positive terminal of the supply. Here the supply is equal to VCC. That means N-type collector will be connected to the positive terminal of the VCC, and negative terminal of the VCC will be connected to the base. So in this way we are connecting in CB configuration, either in case of PNP transistor or NPN transistor. So mostly, so the transistor will be working in active region. That means, so most of the cases the transistor will be connected to the transistor. That means input side will be forward biased, output end will be reverse biased. So just simply replace this PNP and NPN formation or structure into the transistor symbols. We can get the complete circuit diagram in common base configuration. So now we can learn the transistor characteristics. That means, so input and output behaviors in common base configuration. Okay, so to describe the behavior of common base amplifiers, require two set of characteristics. To completely know about the behavior of common base configuration or common base amplifiers, we can describe two characteristics. Those two set of characteristics are input or driving point characteristics, output or collector characteristics. So when we are describe these two behaviors, you can get the complete behavior of the common base amplifier. So the first one is equal to input or driving point characteristic. That means at the input end. At the input end. So when we are applying the biasing voltage, how much of current will be flowing. Okay. So when we draw the VI characteristics in input side. Okay. So in the input side means when we are here we can draw the voltage, the curve between or the plot or a graph between VBE, that means the voltage between base and emitter, VBE to the current. The current here is equal to I in milliamperes. Okay, IE in milliampere. That means here is equal to the base and emitter. So the voltage between base and emitter will be called it as VBE. Okay, when we draw the plot between voltage, that is the voltage is in between, voltage drop is in between base and emitter to the emitter current. When we are placing constant voltage, when we are placing constant output voltage, here the constant output voltage is equal to VCB, the voltage drop between collector and base. So that is equal to the input characteristics. Okay, when we draw the plot between input voltage drop to the input current, we are placing the output voltage is constant. So these output voltage will be constant in different points, that is VCB equal to 1 volts at 20, 20, 10 and so on. So next, the output characteristics. So these output characteristics will be defined in three basic regions. Those three basic regions are active region, cutoff region and saturation region. So these active region is defined by the biasing arrangements. Okay, so how they are biasing, based on that we can define the active region. At the same time, cutoff region, so this region where the collector current is 0. Okay, so where the collector current 0 will be defined the cutoff region. So next, saturation region, so this region of characteristic to the left of VCB equal to 0. So VCB equal to 0 ki left ఏవైతే characteristics ఉంటాయో that will be defined the saturation region. That means, so the output collector characteristics will be defined in three basic regions, that is cutoff region, saturation region and active region. So this active region will be defined by the biasing arrangement, that is forward bias arrangement or reverse bias arrangements. So based on the arrangements of the biasing, we can define the active region. Next, cutoff region, so where the collector current is 0, that region will be equal to the cutoff region. Next, saturation region is defined by the, so VCB equal to 0, the left of the VCB equal to 0 will be denote the saturation region. So in this graph, okay, so the totally color filling with blue region will be equal to the cutoff region and saturation region. Again at one point, okay, the collector current going to be constant, at input current is equal to fixed. Here input current is base current is equal to 0, sorry. So where the collector current is going to be constant, that region will be equal to the active region. So that means there is three regions, that is active region, saturation region and cutoff region. So active region is based on the biasing. That means IE increased, IC is increased. Base emitter junction is forward biased and collector base junction is reverse biased. Active region is totally depends upon the biasing arrangements. Here, that means the biasing arrangements is base emitter junction is forward biased. That means input junction is forward biased and collector base junction is reverse biased. That means output end will be connected as reverse biased. When we are connecting these forward bias and reverse bias connections, when we are increasing the input current, here the input current is equal IE. When we are increasing the IE, IC current is increases. Okay, so that means, so in this active region, the output current is referred as IC. IC means collector current is approximately equal to IE. That means IC not depends on VCB. Okay, so irrespective of the changes in voltage drop at collector to the base, the IC will be maintained constant. So that's why, so the collector current IC is approximately equal to IE. That is suitable reason for the transistor working as amplifier. So this region, active region, is suitable for the transistor will be working as a amplifier. Okay, that is active region. Active region means, so input and output regions. So input region is forward biased and output region is reverse bias. input region is forward bias and output region is reverse bias. When we are forming these biasing circuits, we are increasing the input current, that is IE increases, IC is increased. Okay, that means, so irrespective of the changes in voltage drop across the collector and base, the IC will be maintained constant. So that's why IC will be totally depends upon IA. So we are getting the collector current IC is approximately equal to the IE current. Now go for the saturation region. In this saturation region, so BE, that means base emitter junction, and CB, collector base junction, both is in forward biased condition. That means base emitter junction and collector base junction, that means input junction and output junction both will be connected in forward bias. So here when small changes in VCB means output voltage. When we have small changes in the VCB will cause big difference to the IC. Okay. When we are changing the voltage drop between the collector and base, that means small changes in VCB will causes the big difference to the IC. That means the allocation for this region is to the left of VCB, where we are allotting this region, that is VCB equal to 0 ki left. That is the left of VCB will be called as saturation region. That means in this saturation region, input junction and output junction both will be connected as a forward bias. Due to the forward bias connection of input and output junction, VCB, okay, when we are small increasing the VCB will causes the big differences in IC current. So that means where we are allotting this saturation region in graph, so that is left of the VCB equal to 0. That means, so the left of the VCB equal to 0 will be denoted with saturation region. Next go for the third region, that is equal to the cutoff region. So the cutoff region means the region below the line of I equal to 0 amperes. Okay, so cutoff region, okay, when input current equal to 0. Here the input current is equal to IA, emitter current, when input current is equal to 0. Okay, so below this I equal to 0 region is called as cutoff region. That means in this cutoff region, base emitter and collector base both will be connected in reverse bias. Okay, so both are connected in reverse bias, that means I equal to 0. So when input current equal to 0 means no current will be flowing at the collector. Okay, so when I equal to 0 means input current equal to 0. So when input current equal to 0 means output current is equal to 0. That means I equal to 0, which causes IC equal to 0. But only some leakage current will be flowing. Okay, so this leakage current is due to the minority carriers. Due to the minority carriers flows in the collector region, so there is a small amount of the current. The small amount of the current will appear at the collector region. This small amount of the current will be called as leakage current or a reverse leakage current. Okay, that is the three regions in the cutoff, three regions in the CB configuration in output characteristics. Those three regions are active region, saturation region, and cutoff region. Okay, in this active region, so base emitter junction is forward biased, collector base junction is reverse biased. In case of saturation region, so both junction, that is base emitter junction and collector base junction, both will be connected in forward bias. In case of cutoff region, base emitter and collector base both will be connected in reverse bias. So due to the forward and reverse bias connections, this transistor will be working as an amplifier, because so the input current, that means the collector current IC is approximately equal to IE. Input current is equal to output current in active region. In saturation region, very small changes in the VCB, that is voltage drop at the collector to the base, that is output voltage. The small changes in the output voltage will causes there is a large changes in the IC. In case of cutoff region, due to the input equal to 0, that means there is no input current, IE equal to 0, then IC equal to 0, but there is a small amount of the reverse leakage current will be flowing. So this small amount of the reverse leakage current is due to the minority carriers. That reverse leakage current is called as reverse leakage current will be equal to ICO. Okay, this one is totally about the common base configuration. So that means when we draw the curve, output curve, so that means the curve's output characteristics is clearly indicate that a fast approximation to the relationship between IE and IC in the active region is given by IC is approximately equal to IE. That means IC equal to IE. Next, once a transistor is in the on state means, so both are connected in saturation, both will be connected in forward bias. In forward bias condition, the transistor will be acts like a on switch. So that's why once a transistor in the on state, the base emitter voltage will be assumed to be 0, will be VB equal to 0.7 volts. That means when the transistor is in on state, the base emitter voltage will be assumed as VB equal to the 0.7 volts. That means after this cutoff voltage, okay, we are changing the VBE, the IE is going to be changed. Okay, so this one is equal to our output characteristics. So in the DC mode, the level of IC and IC due to the majority carriers are related by a quantity called alpha, because in active region, so IC current is approximately equal to the IE. From that we can get the current gain. That current gain will be denoted with alpha. Alpha is equal to the output current by the input current. Here output current is equal to IC, input current equal to IE. Then alpha is denoted as alpha is equal to the ratio of collector current to the emitter current. Then IC is equal to, alpha into IE plus ICBO. So this ICBO is due to the reverse leakage current. So it can then be summarized to IC equal to alpha into IE, that is ignore ICBO due to the small value. So that's why IC equal to alpha into IE. Okay, here ICBO equal to when emitter is open. Okay, when emitter is open, the small current will be flowing within collector and base region is called as reverse leakage current. So that's why this ICBO is very small, so that's why it is negligible value. So that's why a total current, collector current IC is equal to alpha into IE. This is in case of DC mode. In case of DC mode, alpha is equal to the ratio of collector current to the emitter current. Now in case of AC, when we are applying the AC voltages for AC situations where the point of operation moves on the characteristic curve, and AC alpha defined by AC alpha is equal to the changes in collector current to the changes in emitter current. That is again output current to the input current. Here the alpha is equal to the changes in collector current to the changes in emitter. That means alpha a common base current gain factor that shows the efficiency by calculating the current percent from current flow from the emitter to the collector. The value of alpha is typically from 0.9 to 0.998. Okay, the range of this alpha is from 0.8 to 0.998. Here alpha is called as current gain factor. Current gain means the gain is equal to output by input. Here the current gain means output current by the input current. So that's why, so this current gain will be defined in DC level and AC level. In case of DC mode, this alpha is defined as the ratio of IC current to the IE current. But in case of AC, when we are applying the AC voltages, then the current gain alpha is defined as the changes in collector current to the changes in emitter current is denoted with current gain. that is about the common base configuration. Thank you.